Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for today's training on how to optimize your appliance repair website for conversion. This is part of our 2018 Internet Marketing Plan webinar series where we're going to show you how to maximize your lead flow using the latest internet marketing strategies to grow your appliance repair business. So this is the online dominance blueprint. Right, this is what your online marketing strategy should look like if you really want to take advantage of using the internet to get more appliance repair business. So we're doing a series of all these different segments of online marketing, and the conversion element of it is really part of the first one there, SEO. But if you notice, all the arrows point to the website. Right, so everything, whether you're doing SEO, PPC, social media, it all comes back to your website. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is how to get that website to turn more of the consumers or the visitors that come to it into actual phone calls and, as an end result, actual customers for you. So before we get started, just want to ask you for your full attention. Nowadays we have so many distractions, and I also know you guys are busy. So please turn off your cell phones. If you have Facebook open, let's get that turned off for a few minutes. And I just want your full attention, because if you can give me your undivided attention, you'll walk away from this training with a lot more information. And it should be about 45 to 60 minutes tops. But we'll be covering a lot of good information that you can start to implement in your appliance repair business today. So who am I and why should you listen to me? Just in case this is the first time you're watching one of our webinar training series, I'm the author of How to Generate a Flood of Leads, Customers, and Profits for Your Appliance Repair Business, which is available on Amazon. I'm widely accepted as the premier expert in the internet marketing for appliance repair industry. I've worked with several appliance repair companies across the US, and I'm a consultant, speaker, and trainer for online marketing agencies. And we are appliance repair marketing experts. So unlike other online marketing companies that work with several local businesses, it doesn't matter what the industry is, some works with plumbers, lawyers, dentists, whoever is willing to pay them, they'll work with. We only work with appliance repair companies. So we actually have a full understanding of the appliance repair industry. And we are a pay per performance company. So what that means, unless we deliver our clients actual leads, then we don't get paid. And what we're doing is sharing the strategies that we use day in, day out to generate leads for our clients. So what is one online marketing element that will have the biggest impact on the results of your overall internet marketing efforts? That's what we're going to talk about today. And what that is, it's conversion on your website. So think of your website as the hub, right? Everything that you're doing with online marketing comes back to the website. So if you're doing social media, it usually brings the person back to the website. If you're doing SEO, it's website. If you're advertising on directory sites, it brings them back to the website. If you're doing pay-per-click advertising like Google AdWords, it all comes back to the website. So this is why conversion is so important. And just in case you're not familiar with that term, what conversion is, it's getting a consumer that visits your website to take action, which is to either call or to fill out a form in your website. So you could have so many consumers visiting your website, but if you don't have the right conversion elements, it could be one of the reasons why your website's not actually getting you the leads that you want. So that's what we're going to really focus in on today, and give you a few tips to help improve there. So why is conversion so important? Let's look at two scenarios. Scenario one is that you have 500 visitors per month. Let's assume that you have a current conversion rate of 5%. So that would give you 25 calls or leads. And let's say you have a 30% conversion on the phone, right? So the first one was just getting the consumer to actually make the phone call, and that's 5%. The 30% that you see on the screen here now, we're talking about when the customer actually calls in. It's the conversion of the rate for turning those phone calls into scheduled appointments. All right. So with a 30% conversion, you should have 7 book jobs. And let's assume that your average transaction is 150. For some of you watching, that could be higher. For some of you watching, it could be lower. All right, so I just took an average there of what I think the average transaction value will be, or what the average job is worth to an appliance repair company. Right, so those 7 book jobs will be worth $1,050 in revenue to your appliance repair business. Now let's look at scenario number 2. So same 500 visitors per month. Right, so we're going to try and keep everything the same, but what we're going to improve on now is conversion. So instead of the 5% conversion, let's say we get you up to 15% conversion. All right. So now your phone calls went from 25 calls to 75 calls. Same conversion on the phone of 30%. Now we have 22 book jobs instead of 7 book jobs. So hopefully it's starting to make a lot more sense now why conversion is so important. Same average transaction value. Now we just brought in $3,300 for your appliance repair business. And keep in mind, guys, you didn't get any more people coming to your website than what you normally did. Right? All we did was improve the conversion on the website. So sometimes it's not that you need more leads to get more business to come in. Sometimes you just need to improve the conversion. Now, we improved the conversion here of just the website, right? So we went from 5 to 15. But another conversion point that we could improve on is that phone call conversion, right? We didn't even talk about that yet and see what the improvements were with simply just doing some website conversion elements. All right, so hopefully the picture's getting a little bit clearer now. And that's why I wanted to just give you some type of illustration there, because sometimes that helps clear it up a little bit. So now you see the importance of conversion. And now you're wondering, okay, so how do we do that? And that's what we're going to talk about next. All right, so this is just an image of a funnel, right? So all the different sources are coming through the wide end. So website optimization, SEO, PPC, social media, all those are coming through the big end of the funnel. And then the funnel represents the conversions with phone calls coming out at the other end. All right. So let's talk about 9 critical elements to enhance the conversion of your website. The first one is that you want to speak to your target market, right? Your target market is the largest segment of consumers that actually call you. And all of your consumers, if you were to look at them, like all the customers that you have for, let's say, the last 6 months or the last year, if you could make a list of all of them and write down certain commonalities between each of them, you would see a pattern that arises from that. What I mean by that is you'll start to notice, is it mostly males that are calling or is it females? All right. You'll notice if you had their age, you'll notice that there's a certain age range that call you, and this varies from city to city, market to market. So it's important to know that, though, and we're going to show you why as this training goes on. So you want to also know the fears and frustrations, and you want to let them know why they should choose you over your competition. You want to be real with them. What that means is on your website, you want to have authentic images of your team on the home page. They want to see the owners, they want to see technicians, all throughout the website. You want to use video and other multimedia elements to engage these consumers, right? If most of your target market is senior citizens, they require a lot less. They really just need a phone number. Let's say you have millennials that are now calling your appliance repair company. These guys, they pretty much just want to be on the phone, and they just want to text, right? They don't even want to speak to anyone. So you want to have different elements for the different target market to actually engage with your appliance repair company, right? So a welcome video on the website is great. Having a video on each page of the different services that you offer would be great. A video explaining why someone should contact you versus the competition. And the next element is that you want to leverage social proof. So showcase your online reviews from existing companies prominently on the home page or on all the pages of your website. Some of the tools that you can use to do this is one of them is Bird Eye, and the other one is Review Buzz. They make it very simple to showcase this information. And you want to get the basics in order. Phone number should be in the upper right hand corner of your website, and it should be big and bold. You could even put it in red or yellow to let it stand out more. And the reason for this is when consumers come to your website, there's a lot of studies done on this, that a consumer's eye is going to go to the upper right hand corner. And most consumers, when they call an appliance repair company, they're not trying to do a whole lot of research, right? They come to your website, the number one thing they're looking for is that phone number. So you want to make it very easy for them to find. Ensure that there's also a web form that consumers can fill out, right? So you should have some type of form on your website that someone can just put in the basic information, the name, phone number, and the problem that they're having. Keep it very simple, because some consumers are not going to be able to call you. They may work a 9-to-5 job and they're not able to speak on the phone. So if they could simply just fill out a form and schedule the appointment just by doing that, it makes things a lot easier for them. So you want to add credibility and authority symbols to your website. So if you're a member of the Better Business Bureau, you want to add that in. If you're a part of Angie's List, you want to add that in, right? All these things that people can recognize. So these big names, you want to leverage them to build credibility for you and authority for your appliance repair company. Ensure that you have clear call to actions on each page that speak to your ideal customer and tell them exactly what to do next. If you're not familiar with what a call to action is, that's basically you're just telling the consumer what action you want them to do. So an example of a call to action is to call us now, call us today, fill out the form. All those are examples of what a call to action is. Use special offers and coupons that match the service that they are in need of. So if you're going to offer, let's say, $25 off the completed repair, you want to have those on your website, right? Coupons are a great way to get consumers to call, right? I know you guys don't want to do coupons for the service call, right? Because there's no money in that, but you can definitely offer it for the completed repair. And when you do coupons, if you're apprehensive about actually using coupons because it's going to reduce your revenue, coupons are actually shown to increase revenue. And the reason is that you start to get more people calling in, so you get a larger volume. Even though you may make a smaller profit, with the larger volume, it makes up for it. And remember, if you do a good job, right, the idea is to get as much people to actually hire you, right? If you do a good job for them when another appliance break, because each consumer have multiple appliances, right? So you may make a little bit less on this first one, but when they call you back, you get the opportunity to make a lot more, assuming you did a great job for them. And, you know, if they refer their friends and family to you, you're also not giving them that, you're not necessarily giving them that particular discount, even though you could, because those essentially came in at such a low cost for you. It's not necessarily advertising that you had to pay for to get them in. So, you know, if you're against coupons, you know, I really, really encourage you to rethink about using it to get more business. Make sure your website is mobile optimized with an easy click to call function, right? If your website is not mobile friendly, right? And one quick, simple, easy way to do that now is to just put your website address into your phone right now. And it's also good to look at if it's an Android device that you have. You know, if you have a friend or family that has an Apple iPhone, ask them to look at it too, because they will display differently on the different phones. And you want to make sure that it actually displays correctly on a mobile device, because now, you know, the search engines and Google has different statistics on this, but more people now are using their mobile device to actually access the search engine, right? So this is why it's so important. You're probably going to get about 70 to 80% of the people that visit your website is probably going to come from a mobile device, right? So that's how important it is that make sure your website is mobile friendly. And it just means that it displays correctly, make sure the number is at the top, and there should be just a button that they could just tap to actually call you. They shouldn't have to be able to memorize your phone number to actually type it in, because they're probably not going to, that's too much work, right? They're probably not going to do that. If they just need to click a button, your number shows up and they just click on send or phone or call on the mobile device. All right, so if there's one thing you take away from this webinar today, if your website isn't mobile friendly, that's the first thing you want to go and do, because if it's not, you're losing customers right now. You also want to consider leveraging live chat. So this is probably a little bit better than the web form that we discussed earlier, because a live chat, they can just type in what they need to do and they can get an instant response from your appliance repair company. So if you have the staff available to actually handle a live chat, it's something that you can implement in there. And we'll talk about some statistics on how live chat can improve your conversion rate as the training goes on. All right, so if you can see your ideal customers through their eyes, then you can better sell them what they want to buy. So you may have heard something similar to this, or another common saying that's out there is that if you really want to understand what someone's going through, you have to put yourself in that person's shoes to understand. So we're going to talk about that because it's important to understand the fears and the frustrations of consumers that need appliance repair. Because then if you can understand that, you can close more of them, or you can get a lot more of them to actually schedule with your appliance repair company. So who is your ideal customer? Let's take a look at some demographic information on the left hand side here. These are just some examples of things that you want to look out for. Are they homeowners or are they renters? Okay, what's the age group? Is it typically female or male that usually call in? Are they married? If they have kids, how many kids? Is it the person typically the head of the household that calls in? What's their annual income? Are they family oriented? They're reliable, easily frustrated, likes to please people and expect the same in return. They're not handy, right? Most people that call an appliance repair company, they don't want to fix an appliance. All right. They could like gardening, crafts, or some other hobby. They live in the suburbs, you know, upper middle class neighborhood. These are just some examples of what you want to look at to figure out the demographics of your ideal customer. Now let's talk about the pains and frustration on the right hand side of the screen here, right? So the pain and frustration is that the appliance stopped working, right? If the dishwasher broke, now they got to start washing dishes by hand. If the washing machine break, now they have to go to the laundromat to get that done. Like, all those things are inconvenience in the consumer. The next frustration is that when they do call an appliance repair company, they can't get anyone on the phone, or they call, they left a message, it's been an hour, no one has even called them back yet, and they need to get that appliance issue resolved, right? Appliance repair is considered an emergency niche, right? So it's they need today. Typically, some can wait for next day service, but a lot of people nowadays want that same day service. They're too busy to deal with it, right? That's another segment. They may know how to fix it, but they're too busy, right? They don't have time to actually fix the appliance, get the part. They just want to get it done with as soon as possible, and they're worried that the situation in the house could be unhealthy for their family, right? If the dishwasher is leaking all over the home, that could cause mold issues, right? If they have a gas stove and there's some type of leak there, it could be toxic to their family, right? So these are just some examples of pain and frustrations that a lot of consumers have. And it's a good idea to figure this out for your ideal customer. All right, so let's talk about some additional fears and implications here on the left-hand side of the screen. When they're choosing an appliance repair company, these are some fears that they have. They worry about getting ripped off by the appliance repair company or getting overcharged for the repair. They pay too much for something they could have gotten else somewhere, right? They don't want to pay. They don't want to invest a lot of money in an appliance that's not even worth fixing, right? So they would appreciate if when they call in and they said, hey, I have a 30-year-old refrigerator that, it's probably going to be a situation where they can't even get parts for. So they would just appreciate upfront, that the appliance repair company just tell them, hey, this is the situation that we're looking at, right? That way they don't have to invest much money in there. Having home damage by faulty workmanship, right? So having the technician come in and cause additional damage to their home, having to wait around for the tech to arrive at their home, right? That's why they like shorter appointment windows, and why doing a 30-minute call ahead is very much appreciated by consumers, right? Because they're busy, a lot of appliance repair companies have these issues where they overbook, and then the consumer's waiting all day, no one shows up. They're being inconvenienced trying to coordinate with the tech. So sometimes what happens here is that some appliance repair companies don't offer service on the weekends, or they don't offer anything after 5. Now, for someone that works 5 days a week, 9 to 5, they now have to go take a day off, and in some cases they don't even get paid. So that's an inconvenient situation for them. The invoice or the cost of the repair will be more than they can afford, right? So they may not want to put a whole lot of money, $500-600 into fixing a washing machine, right? At that point, it will probably make a lot more sense for them to just buy a new one. So they want to know that upfront once the diagnosis is made, instead of guessing what's wrong with it, fixing something here, and then next week something else breaks, and before they know it, a lot of money is invested into an appliance that really wasn't worth it. So what are their goals and desires with getting their appliance fixed, right? They want it fixed fast. They want to know that the issue is now behind them, right? There was no damage to the home, and everything is in order. They know that they're taking care of their family, All right. They live in a nicer, more luxurious home and car. Kids are healthy, happy, spend time with their family. They like to travel, have fun. Respect and approval from their friends and family, and peace of mind. All right, these are all goals and desires that consumers have. Now let's talk about messaging that works. So these are things that you want to have on your website, and this also applies if you're doing any type of ads, right? So if you're doing like Yelp advertising or Google AdWords advertising, these are all elements that you can incorporate in your messaging to get consumers to call. So the first one, which we spoke about earlier, is that a lot of consumers are looking for same-day service. And in some cases, if the refrigerator is broken, they're looking for those emergency service. 24-hour service, not a big demand for it, although it can depend on the different markets. But they are looking for on-time service, right? They don't want to wait around. If you give them a 2-hour time frame, they're expecting you to show up within those 2 hours. Straightforward pricing or upfront pricing, satisfaction guaranteed. They want to know that if there's an issue after the repair, that they're not going to have to pay the technician to come and fix the same problem again. All right, and they want to know that you're big on customer service and that you stand behind, you know, the labor and the parts with some type of guarantee. They want trustworthy technicians coming into their home, right? And they want an experienced technician, right? They don't want someone that just got out of appliance repair school that's going to kind of guess what's wrong with the appliance. They're really looking for someone that's a lot more experienced. So let's talk about some key conversion elements. You want to add real authentic images of your team to the homepage and throughout the website. Add video elements to your website. So you can have a welcome video. You can have a video describing the different services that you offer. And you can have another video explaining why someone should choose your appliance repair company over the competition. Showcase your online reviews more prominently on the homepage. You can use sites like Bird Eye and Review and Review Buzz. Get the basics in order, such as the phone number in the upper right hand corner, having a web form, using authority symbols like Better Business Bureau, Angie's List. Update the call to action in your website, right? What do you want them to do? You want them to call now. Leverage coupons and add live chat to your website. So just wanted to summarize that again for you guys, and we're going to show you some examples now, just to make things a little bit clearer. All right, so here's an example of different elements on this particular website. So just starting from the upper left there where you see the phone symbol, look what it says in bold. Live answer when you call. We talk about one of the fears, right, of the consumer calling in, no one answering, or they leave a message and no one calls back, right? We're telling them right here on the website that so when you call, a live person is going to answer. All right. The next one is same day service. A lot of people are looking for it today. All right. Upfront pricing, right? So once a diagnosis is made, they want to know right then and there what they're looking at. You may or may not have green solution. This is actually an example from a plumbing site, so that's more applicable to them. Trusted technicians. All right, we talked about having someone that's experienced and trustworthy, you know, fixing the appliance. And then satisfaction guaranteed. You're telling them, hey, if there's a problem, we stand behind our workmanship. All right. Here is an example of them using pictures of the team and of the owners. So you're seeing the technician, you're seeing the owners, you're seeing the persons that answer the phones, right? They want to know who they're working with before the technician actually comes out. Again, there's an image of the owners there. Leverage video and multimedia. Here's an example of having a video on your website talking about a particular service that's being done, right? And you don't need anything fancy. Nowadays, mobile phones, the camera on the mobile phone and the video on the mobile phone is more than capable of doing these things. So you can simply record it, record the video, and you can upload it to YouTube. You can sign up for a YouTube account and you can host a video on there for free. And it's another way for you to get customers, right? If someone's looking for a particular service on YouTube in your local area, here you have a video, and it's not costing you anything at all. So leverage social proof. So this is having the different reviews on the website. So having reviews from actual customers is a great way to get more people calling into your business. And if you can get the reviews with a picture of the customer, it's even better, right? Because it looks a lot more authentic. So you want to get the fundamentals right. So we talked about having that phone number in the upper right hand corner there. You see it's big and bold, it stands out. And in the middle of the screen there, you'll see schedule a service call. That's an example of having a web form. And see how basic it is. Name, email, phone number, and then the service they need. Use special offers that match the service that you're interested in. So this is, offering some type of discount or coupon to get them to call in. So is your website set up for conversion, right? Does it speak to your ideal customer? Does it have real authentic images? Does it have the video elements? Does it showcase the reviews, right? Make a note of all these things to go check on your website as soon as this training is done to see how you can improve it. Make sure the site is mobile friendly. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, and this is why 4.8 billion people now own a mobile phone. 4.8 billion. All right, 3 out of 5 consumers search for a local business on their smartphone. These are statistics from Google, right? So Google controls about 80% of the searches online, right? So this is why we're focused more on what Google is telling us. Google reports that 40% of mobile consumers turn to a competitor's site after a bad mobile web experience. All right, so we talked about that earlier. If your website is not mobile friendly, if it doesn't display correctly on a phone, you're losing a lot of customers. All right, and then we talked about the click to call. So here's an example of the website. It's displaying correctly. Notice, the phone number stands out, the click to call stands out, and they offer 24/7 response, right? So these are all great things to get that consumer to click that click to call button. So how that should work is, if at the bottom of the image on the left there, you see the click to call. When they click on that button, they should tap that button on their smartphone, and then the image on the right is showing you what should happen there. So notice the phone number populates, and now they just have to click that call button there, and it calls your company, right? You don't want them to have to try and memorize what that phone number is. And then we talked about if you have the staffing in place, then a good idea is to implement a chat function on your website, which usually shows in the bottom right hand corner there, having a little image of the operator there and a little short welcome message. So someone could use that instead of the email form. And then once they click on it, a chat window like this should pop up, and they can get instant communication by text right then and there without actually picking up the phone call or picking up the phone. So live chat is proven to increase leads by an average of 35%. So this is why it's something that you may want to consider implementing, assuming you have all the other elements. If you're a one-man operation, unless you're really slow, live chat may not benefit you, because if someone clicks on that live chat to speak to someone and you're in the middle of a job and you can't respond to them, they probably are going to visit another appliance repair company website. So let's talk about key takeaways. So right now, if you have mostly stock images, so and what I mean by that, if you're not familiar with that term, is if you just bought some images, or the person that designed your website just took images that they could find from a company online that sells these images that you could buy, so it's just random generic images. If that's all you have on your website, you may want to consider getting real images. And even if you're just a one-man operation, you know, get a picture on the website of you in your uniform or standing by the truck, and that will convert a lot better than these stock images, because consumers are picking up that these things aren't real, right? They just look too fancy. So getting real images on the website of the technician, the owners, the team, the vans. If you actually have a shop, that would be great as well. Add in some type of video elements to your website will be great. We talked about, you know, you can use your mobile phone, your smartphone, to record the video, so it doesn't cost you anything extra, and you can host that video on YouTube for nothing extra. Showcase your online reviews. If you're not getting online reviews from every single customer that you service, you need to start doing it, because reviews are going to become more and more important. The trend that's happening now is that a lot of consumers are checking reviews first before hiring an appliance repair company, and that's going to become even more prominent in the future. Yelp saw this trend years ago, right? And their whole website is built on just reviews, and they're a multi-million-dollar company just figuring out this trend. So I highly encourage you, if you're not doing it, you should be getting online reviews on a daily basis, all right, before it becomes like mandatory to have them, because you don't want to be the one person in your local market with like 2 reviews, and all your competition have 500, 800, 600. You know, if a consumer sees that, they're going to go with the person with the most reviews. So get the basic in order. So if the phone number is not in the upper right hand corner, let's get that there. If you don't have a web form for someone to fill out as an alternative to call in, you want to get that there. If you're part of the Better Business Bureau, or any other type of organization that you think consumers would recognize, you know, it could be some type of like consumer affairs type of organization. You know, Angie's List is also another good one that consumers recognize, because they see Angie's List on TV all the time. Update call to action. So if you're not telling consumers what you want them to do on your website, like call now, you want to implement that. Consider using coupons or offers to get more people to actually call your appliance repair company. And if you have the staffing, definitely consider testing live chat on your website. So the question now is, based on everything that we just covered, is your appliance repair company website set up to convert visitors into callers? All right, so here's an image that we created. And if you don't have a copy of this, there's a couple different ways you can get it. If you're watching this live, just enter your email into the chat box. And I'll send it over to you. Another way you can get it is if you're watching the replay, or even if you're watching this live, I'll send out a replay link, just in case you want to take some additional notes. It's going to take you, the replay is going to be on our blog, and then somewhere on that blog you'll find a link to actually download this conversion document here. All right, so it kind of simplifies everything, and it gives you a deeper explanation. So which of the following conversion elements should you implement in your business now that will have a positive impact on your conversion rates? I want to ask each and every one of you to pick at least 3 things to improve your conversion that you'll implement over the next 30 days. So just 3 things, right? I mean, if you're watching this training up to this point, we're about 40 minutes in, you invested time to learn, to grow your business. So I highly encourage you to just pick 3 things. We talked about 9 different things you could do, but please just pick 3, implement it in your business, and I promise you'll start to see more leads. And a lot of these things you may not even have to pay to get done, right? Or if you do, it's a low cost. It's not like you're paying a whole lot to get more leads to come in. As a matter of fact, some of these conversion elements you may want to consider fixing first before spending a lot on, like if you're doing any type of paid advertising like Google AdWords. All right. So make a list of the 3 things that you've learned today and you're going to implement over the next 30 days. And that's pretty much it for today's training. Now, at the end of each training, we usually offer a free 2018 online marketing plan review. All right, so it's at no cost. This is not some type of sales pitch. As a matter of fact, each time I do them with an appliance repair business owner, I always tell them, I have nothing to sell you today. I really just want to talk to you for about the next 15 minutes on how I can help you grow your business, right? If at some point you want to ask me about the services that the appliance experts offer, we can discuss that to see how it may help your business. But this is not what this call is about. There's nothing being sold. All right, now we only have room, I should say, for about 2 to 3 per month. All right, because these are free. So if you wanna get a, opinion on what you're doing, you want to bounce some ideas with me about what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, we can take a look at different elements. So we can analyze your online visibility. If you need help with keywords, we can talk about that. If you want to talk about where your website's currently ranking and how to improve that, we can discuss that. We can take a look at if your appliance repair company is on multiple directory websites. We can take a look at that to see if the information there is consistent. We can talk about online reviews and reputation. If you have a situation where you have a lot of bad reviews and you want to figure out how to how to turn that around, or you want to talk about how to get more reviews, because that's one of the things you want to start implementing. We can discuss that. We can talk about your social presence online, and we can even talk about more about your website conversions. If you want me to take a look at your website and you want to get an opinion of how it's doing. So highly encourage you, if these are any things that interest you. We'll only have 2 to 3 spots per month to do this. And again, it's not a sales call. I'm just here to provide you with some honest feedback. If you want to take advantage of the free strategy session, just give us a call at 866-561-5627. Again, that's 866-561-5627. When you get to one of my assistants, just tell them you want to set up an appointment to speak with me, and they'll get that scheduled for you. If you're watching the replay, you should also see a link on our blog that will take you to one of my online calendars where you can just go ahead and schedule there as well. All right, I hope you guys like this training. Hope you found value in it, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next one. Take care, guys.